I'll get started here. My name is Jim Beam. I'm the special magistrate for this hearing. Our hearing date is December 8th, 2020. We have 3 petitions we're going to be hearing. Petition 150, Petition 152, and Petition 161. Could I have the property appraiser introduce themselves?
Mike Grasso.
Thank you. Could I have the petitioner introduce themselves?
Yes, my name is Dana Manner, M-A-N-N-E-R, and I represent the petitioner on these 3 petitions.
Okay. Then I have an opening statement I'm required to read. It'll be brief, but the Board of Special Magistrate is an independent, impartial, and unbiased hearing body or officer. The Board of Special Magistrate does not work for the property appraiser or tax collector, is independent of the property appraiser or tax collector, and is not influenced by the property appraiser or tax collector. The hearing will be conducted in an orderly, fair, and unbiased manner. The law does not allow the special magistrate to review any evidence unless it is presented on the record at the hearing or presented upon agreement of the parties while the record is open. And the law requires the Board of Special Magistrate to evaluate the relevance and credibility of the evidence in deciding the results of the petition. The petitioner have any questions regarding this opening statement or the hearing procedure?
No questions or objections.
Okay, then I would like to place everyone under oath for providing testimony. If you'd raise your right hand. You swear or affirm that the evidence and testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
I do. This is Dana Manner.
Okay. Then I would like to have the property appraiser state the parcel identification number and the values associated with petition 2020-0150.
Parcel ID is going to be 03-20-30-517-00-00-02-00. The market and the assessed are the same at 221-059.
All right, then could I have the property appraiser go ahead with presenting their case?
Yes, sir. I've uploaded a few files in here. I believe it's going to be the file that is dated 10/27 is going to be my main packet.
Yes, it's 15 pages. I have that up.
Yes, sir. Basically, I'll just go through the pages real quick. Page 1 just a cover page with a photo from Google. It's given an address at 887 Brightview Drive, Lake Mary, Florida. Next page is table of contents. The trim statement that we sent out. What we also have is our compliance, stating we do look at all 8 criteria. We scroll down some more there. Page 10 is going to be the parcel detail sheet. It's going to have the value information and then the sketch on the next page. Page 12 is going to be our comparable sales analysis. I do have 3 comparables all located within the same subdivision. Excuse me. We are making a sale price adjustment of 3% per year. We're also making a $50 a square foot based on living area. If there is a bath adjustment, a half bath is going to be $3,000, a full is going to be $6,000. Extra features are dollar for dollar. So if it's a pool, it'll deduct $20,000. And let's see what we have on here. This does not have a pool. So with these 3 comparables here, after adjustments were said and made, they're very minimal adjustments, and gave us an indicated market value of the $262,463, and the property appraiser's just value is $221,059. So it appears based on that we're not over assessing this property. If you go to page 13, is going to be our map, and you'll see the location of all the comps along with the subject, which are in the same subdivision. Once again, this is Chase Groves. Then what we have on the next page is just our final statements, the certification, and a summary of my qualifications for the last page. And on that, the property appraiser rests.
Okay. Could I have the petitioner go ahead with presenting their case? I have a file up that says it's 119 pages long.
Right. Well, let me try and slim that down for you. The first 2 pages are describe the property. Basically, on the first page shows the pre-petition market values, and then on the second page, based on our comparable sales analysis, we believe the property should be just value should be $198,000. There are several pages which are basically the property record card, the trim notice. There's some aerial photos and street level photos. If you look at page 12, there is our comparable sales grid. We included 5 comparable sales. It shows underneath the address line the proximity to the subject. They range from being 0.03 miles away to just short of half a mile in proximity to the subject, and they range in sale prices, all 2019 qualified sales, between $220,000 and $310,000. We did, without making any adjustments for building size or land, the only adjustment that we've made to these sale prices per square foot, which ranged from $125 per square foot minimum to a maximum of $159 per square foot, when those are adjusted pursuant to the statute by 15%, the bottom line in yellow on the grid shows the adjusted sales prices and the adjusted sales prices per square foot. The average of those is $122 per square foot. Multiplying that by the adjusted square feet of the subject property leads to a valuation indication of $198,000. The next page is a map of the subject property and showing the locations of the comparable sales that we use. The remaining hundreds of pages are basically to support the as evidence to support the contention of the assessment to sale ratio in Seminole County is 85.8% on dollar weighted average, 85.6% and trimming out the top 20 and bottom 20%, and the rest is just backup of those qualified single family residence sales and their sale prices versus the assessment ratios. And that is the sum of the petitioner's case. I don't think I have some questions or rather rebuttal of the property appraiser's adjustments, but we can handle that separately. But that's the sum of the petitioner's case.
Okay. Then I'd like to hear from the property appraiser if they have any response.
I do. Actually, I loaded some rebuttal on there. It's going to be the next one. It's a warranty deed. Upon research.
I have that.
Pardon, sir?
I have that.
Okay. That's going to be their comparable number 3. Upon further research, it looks like the LLC went out of an LLC to these names, Montania both of them are Montania, excuse me. So, and their address is the same, so it looks like they are the LLC based on the address provided on the warranty deed of the LLC and the owners. Like I said, I just discovered that on the 2nd, so I want to say that's not a qualified sale. Then also on their sales grid, I do want to say that comparable number 5 is about 800 square feet bigger. So you do tend to pay less per square foot for houses of bigger stature. On my comps, I have 2 model matches at the 631 square feet. So I think my comparables are a little bit better shaped than what the petitioner has submitted. And that's all I have right now.
All right, does the petitioner have a response then?
Yes, in terms of the copy of the warranty deed that was offered by the PA's office, it's listed as a qualified sale. The fact that both the grantee and grantor have the same address is interesting, but I don't think is definitive evidence of something not being an arm's length transaction. But it was coded by the property appraiser when they submitted the roll to the Department of Revenue as a qualified sale. Regarding Comp 5, I mean, the numbers are what they are. That property is in terms substantially larger, but even if that comp number 5 and its adjusted price per square foot of $106 was ignored by was removed from the analysis or ignored, the remaining comps that we have would still justify a reduction. And that concludes our case.
Okay. Then if there's nothing else, I will review the evidence and testimony for petition number 2020-0150 and make a recommendation to the adjustment board.
Very good.
Okay. The next petition we're hearing is petition number 2020-0152. Could I have the property appraiser state the parcel identification number and values associated with petition 152?
Yes, sir. Hold on. I'm a little behind. Give me just a second. I apologize.
No problem.
Okay, the parcel ID is going to be 03 20 30 518 0000 1050. The market and the assessed are the same at $209,980.
All right, can I have the, well, let me get up, I guess I better get my file up too. All right, I have evidence package that's up at 16 pages long.
Yes, sir.
So could I have the property appraiser go ahead when you're ready?
This is a single-family residence located at 948 Delfino Place, Lake Mary, also in Chase Grove subdivision. We have the table of contents. We have the trim notice sent out. We have the statement compliance. And if you scroll down to page 10, you're going to have the parcel ID detail sheet, the sketch of the parcel, and then on page 13, we're going to have the comparable sales. We did use 3 comparable sales within the subdivision, all very similar in size. After adjustments were made, the effective year adjustments are $1,000 per year. I didn't throw that in last time, I apologize. $50 a square foot again. After the adjustments were said and done, we had an indicated market value of $256,435. The property appraiser's just value is $209,980. Page 14 is going to be your sales, the map with the comparables. You can see they're all located in the same subdivision. Then we have the final statements and qualifications again, property appraiser rests.
Okay. Then I have the petitioner's package up again. It's 121 pages. Could I have the petitioner go ahead with presenting their case?
Yes, in similar fashion, the first 2 pages are the summary. On the second page shows that based on our comparable sales analysis, in summary, we're requesting a value of $187,000. If we go to our comparable sales grid, which begins on page 13, we included the 6 comparable sales that were, most distant one is 0.6 miles away, but if you look at the map, our comparable sales map, there are those 2 most distant ones appear to be outside of the immediate subdivision. Nonetheless, the first 4 comparable sales are all qualified sales that occurred in 2019. There's no adjustments made for building or land size. The only adjustment that's made is for a cost of sale at 15%. Those adjusted sales prices per square foot are in the range from $135, I believe, down to or $151 per square foot, down to a low of $106. But if you throw out those last 2, which appear to be outside of the subdivision, we're still left with a range between $114 per square foot and $135 per square foot. The subject's assessed right now at $135 per square foot. So there is evidence to support a reduction on this property to less than the $135 per square foot based on comps 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that is the petitioner's case.
Okay. The property appraiser have a response?
Yeah, actually, the next page, I believe it's page 16. I'm curious. It says Seminole qualified sales for 2019. You had that in the last package. Now it says your sale count was only 407.
Well, here is I was going to bring this up in the next in the next hearing. I don't believe that number is correct.
Okay.
We found, when I started to prepare for the hearing today, and I went back to look at some of these results because some things seemed odd to me, it appears that the preliminary NAL file, or name, address, and location file, that Seminole County submitted to the DOR had an extremely large number of duplicate records in it, meaning that there were parcel IDs that were repeated many, many times, and I think that led to us having some strange results when we were trying to perform searches and statistics on those numbers. So, in response to your question, where it says count of 407, I acknowledge it says that. I don't think that that's actually what is on the following pages, but I do believe that there was some error with the name, address, and location file that was submitted by the county to the DOR.
Yeah, I uploaded some rebuttal. I did put in the statistics for that.
Yes,
in the next
I
page.
saw that.
So
Right.
that's the actual, because we were trying to figure out where that number came from, and we had no clue, so we just
Yeah,
ran
no,
our own.
I'm trying to dig into this a little bit to understand what happened here. And just before the hearing, what I discovered was there's a large number of duplicates that I found, and that may have something to do with it.
Okay, just, I was curious on that, that's all.
Very good. The petitioner has really nothing further other than the age adjustment that the property appraiser is making. I don't believe that an age difference of under 5 years requires an age adjustment.
I could agree with you, that's just the way the software was implemented by our IT team, but
I understand.
I have no control over that. If we had control over all this, there wouldn't be a lot of stuff on there, honestly.
Okay. So that concludes the petitioner's rebuttal and response.
Okay, then I will review all the submitted evidence and make a recommendation to the Value Adjustment Board for petition 2020-0152. Okay, we are hearing petition number 2020-0161. Could I have the property appraiser state the parcel identification number and the value associated with petition number 161?
Parcel ID is going to be 17 20 30 505 00 00 07 00. The market and the assessed are the same at $222,826.
All right, I have an evidence package up for the property appraiser, 16 pages long. Could I have the property appraiser go ahead with presenting their case?
Yes, sir. This is located at 124 Lake Breeze Circle in Lake Mary. This is a single-family residence. In my packet, if you actually just go ahead and scroll right to our sales grid, we can just dig into it. I do have 3 comparable sales, all within this little subdivision here, similar in size. The only thing that I don't have is I wasn't able to locate anything similar in size that had a pool like the subject does. So there was a $20,000 adjustment for pool screen and I guess even heater, just a basic adjustment for that. After the adjustments were done, it gave us an indicated value of $282,356. The property appraiser's just value on the parcel is $222,826. If you do look at the map, you'll see the size of the neighborhood there. All 3 comparables are right in there. Similar size. Like I said, the only difference was my 3 comparables lacked a pool. And that's all the property appraiser has at this moment.
Okay. Okay, I have petitioner's evidence package up again. It's 119 pages long. Could I have the petitioner go ahead with presenting their case?
Yes. With this particular subject property, on the first page, and this was what I had alluded to in the prior hearing, the petitioner showed the total pre-petition markup value at $219,818. The reason for that is that's actually the 2019 prior year's taxable value of the property. We concede or understand the trim notice and reflects a $222,000 and change value. Now, the reason for that goes back to what I had just stated before, which is I believe that the root cause of that error is there are a number of duplicates in what we downloaded from the Department of Revenue that the county had submitted in their tax rolls, and when those duplicates couldn't be reconciled automatically by the system, they defaulted back to the prior year values. So I just want to explain why our assessed value doesn't match the current year's assessed value on our summary pages. If we go to the sales grid, which is the comparable sales grid, which starts on page 12, we have 4 comparable sales here, and without unnecessarily throwing in the towel before I at least try and give my client a fair shake here, we don't share any comparable sales with the property appraiser in this case, and the comparable sales that were represented here and used in our analysis are anywhere between 0.4 and 0.64 miles away from the subject. The reason for that, again, I believe, is I went and researched the property appraisers' comparable sales that are all closer in proximity, in fact, essentially on the same street as the subject property, and I believe there are 2 reasons that we did not capture those in our analysis. Number one is the property appraisers' comparable sales are coded not as code 01 qualified sales, or essentially transfers that are qualified and at an arm's length transaction by examination of deed. They're coded as a 02, which is also a qualified sale, but is not picked up by our system because that is a transfer that's qualified because of examination of the documents. Sort of, I believe, in a similar way that the PA was arguing in a prior hearing, they presented a deed that they were saying should not probably be qualified, but it was, and they're basing that on examining the documents. So the comps that we do present here are all code 01 qualified sales, not based on an examination of documents, but because they are, because of examination of the deed and not an examination of other documents, I guess, is the distinction there. In any event, the average of those sales, there's no adjustments made for land or building, only an adjustment made for cost of sale. The average of those is $135 per square foot, and indicated market value would be $203,000 per square foot. That is the petitioner's case.
Does the property appraiser have a response?
Yes, just go back on the sales call 01 and 02. The 02s are actually where we're able to access the MLS listing, or we actually talked to the seller or the owner to verify the sale was arm's length. 01s are more of, we can't find anything, but they fall within the range, say like Open Door. We consider those 01s. I know it wasn't on the market, but they're usually pretty much in range. We can't find anything to unqualify them, so we will 01 those. Those, based on the deed examination, like you said, but the 02s mean we do have credible evidence based on MLS or the owner, just to clarify that a little bit. Also on the petitioner's evidence, it's here somewhere. I did notice the subject did have a pool. I know one of their comps did not have a pool. I think their comp number 3 had no pool. But I mean, they're not making adjustments anyways. I'm just kind of throwing that out there. But other than that, I don't have anything on this petition anymore.
Fair enough. The petitioner have any response?
No, the petitioner doesn't have any response.
Okay. Then I will review the submitted evidence and testimony and make a recommendation to the Value Adjustment Board regarding petition 2020-0161. We will adjourn this hearing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, my name is Jim Beam. I'm serving as special magistrate for these hearings. Our hearing date is December 9th, 2020. We have two petitions to be heard now. Petition 2020-0014 and petition number 2020-0015. Could I have the property appraiser introduce themselves?
Lori Cicerone.
Dexter DeBose.
Okay. I understand the petitioner is Stanley H. Beck of Property Tax Consultants. I've been informed that they will not attend the hearing, but would like their evidence considered. So we waive the opening reading of the opening statements. I'd like to place everyone under oath for providing testimony. If you'd raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the evidence and testimony about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
Okay, let me get this up on the computer then. Okay, the first petition we'll be hearing is petition number 2020-0014. Could I have the property appraiser state the parcel identification number and the values associated with petition 14?
Yes. Let me get to that page here. The parcel number is 16/21/29/519/0000/0010. The cost, market just values, and total assessed values are the same, $4,954,179.
Okay, I have the evidence package that was presented by the property appraiser, submitted by the property appraiser, 30 pages long. I have that up. Could I have the property appraiser go ahead with presenting their case?
Yep. This property is a former Babies R Us. It's currently a vacant box property located at 708 West State Road 436 in Altamont Springs. Page 2 of the packet is a photo that we took of the property after it's sold. There's a 2018 sale that occurred, and Babies R Us was, it looks like maybe they had moved out at that point, but the signage is still there, as you can see. Page 3 is our table of contents. Page 4 is the trim notice for the subject property. Page 5 is the executive summary. Just states the owner, the address, and other factors related to the subject. The building size is 42,596 square feet, and we did value this via the cost approach. The property appraiser's statement of compliance is located on the next 5 pages up through page 10. The property record card starts on page 11, and on that page you can see we've got the land assessed at $15.50 a square foot, And then there's that April of 2018 sale there where it sold for $5.9 million. The property record card runs through page 13. On page 14 is a spreadsheet of, looks like 4 land sales that support that 1550 land rate. We generated a pro forma on page 15. We used $12 a square foot against the 42,596 square feet, 5% for vacancy and collection, expenses of 2.31%, reserves of 23 cents per square foot, and a cap rate of 7%. And that results in a value of $6,636,858, or $155.81 a square foot, which supports our 2020 value assessment of $116.31 a square foot overall. In support of those parameters, I have a spreadsheet of statewide signed big box leases on page 16. Several of those are actually in Seminole County that we have information on, and they average $13.55 a square foot. We used 12 on the pro forma back on page 15. The next several pages are in support of our vacancy rate. Pages 17 and 18 both indicate an average vacancy rate of 4.5% and 4.2%. Page 19 supports our management fees. Our reserves for replacement are supported on page 20. Our cap rate is supported on page 21. For the national net lease market, it's showing an average of 6.19% for the cap rate. On page 22 is a list of 4 freestanding retail sales, which occurred in 2018 and 2019. The first one is the subject property sale. And with a 15% adjustment, those sales average $167.36 per square foot, which would support our assessment. Finally, pages 23 through 27 is a list of sales that have occurred in Seminole County between 2017 and 2019. And this was a list that was submitted to the Department of Revenue, and it just basically shows that we have considered the first and eighth criteria on those sales. And at the bottom of each of those spreadsheets, you can see the ratio between the assessed value, the income value, and the sales price. And that is followed by our VAB letter, qualifications, and statement of compliance. And that concludes my evidence.
Okay, so you're relying on the cost approach?
No, we did about a cost.
Yes.
Okay. Is the only evidence for supporting your cost analysis is what's on the parcel detail sheet?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
How do you count for the first and eighth criteria in your cost approach?
We use Marshall and Swift. We didn't put it in the packet, but Marshall and Swift is indicating a higher value for per square foot for retail space. And doing the CAMA system, we actually adjusted for national and local. So if we were to provide that information, you'll see we're nowhere near what Marshall and Swift is saying for retail space per square foot.
Okay.
Oh, and I want to give you a pass. So you can use it. Okay, hold on one second.
All right, then, I will look at the petitioner's package that they submitted. Is 22 pages long.
All right, darling.
First page is cover letter or summary. Copy of DR 493. A exhibit from CBRE based on capitalization rates. And it looks like parcel detail or property record card. And on page 6 is income and expense analysis. Use $12 a square foot, 5% vacancy, 35% operating expenses, 8% capitalization rate, and deducting 15% cost of sale, they came up with a value estimate of $408,142, followed by rental data sheets. So they based this on income approach only. Okay. The property appraiser have any comments?
Yes, I believe upon looking at these evidence packets that the petitioner submitted for 14 and 15, that the evidence was, in the petitioner's packet was switched.
Okay. Okay, I guess I'll take that into consideration in the final review. However, just stating that they only utilized income approach analysis for valuation, this will be reviewed appropriately. Yes, I see you're correct. It appears different pictures. And it states this is petition number 14. Evidence, so when we get to the next package, it'll be taken care of. So I believe he's coming up with a value of $408,143 for petition number 14. Well, let's see. Okay, I don't know. I'll review this and try to straighten it out. Okay, anything further?
No.
Nope.
Okay, then I'll review the submitted evidence and testimony and make a recommendation value adjustment board regarding petition number 2020-0014. Okay, we are hearing petition number 2020-015. Could I have the property appraiser state the parcel identification number and the values associated with petition 15?
16 21 29 519 0000 0020. The just value and total assessed values are the same, $1,177,002.
Okay, I have property appraiser submitted evidence package of 35 pages. I have it up on the computer now, so could I have the property appraiser go ahead with presenting your case?
Certainly. This is a two-tenant strip retail facility, an unanchored facility, located at 706 West State Road 436 in Altamont Springs. The first page, you see an aerial shot of the subject. On the second page is a photo that we took, and there's a typo there. It says 6/27/28. That was actually taken in 2018 when the sale of the property occurred. But this just gives you an idea of what it looks like. Table of contents is on page 3. The trim notice is on page 4. The executive summary is on page 5. Shows that the year built was 1999. The building size is 6,480 square feet. And there's details there such as ownership, address, and land size, along with our value. The value comes out to $181.64 per square foot overall. On the next 5 pages is the property appraiser's statement of compliance, located on pages 6 through 10. The property record card starts on page 11. We have a $15.50 per square foot land rate on the subject, and you can see it sold in May of 2018 for $2,200,000.
Okay, that code is unqualified.
It is unqualified.
Okay, what's qualification code 37?
I would have to go.
Okay.
We have a list of them.
I don't.
Oh, that's okay if you don't have it. I was curious.
I can get it real quick. Go ahead, continue.
Okay, so the property record card runs through page 12. We support the land on page 13. And those sales with a 15% adjustment come out to $19.74. Again, our land rate's at $15.50. We put together a pro forma on page 14, even though this is valued via the cost approach. We applied a $22 per square foot rate to the 6,480 square feet for the building. We applied 10% for vacancy and collection, 3.33% for expenses, reserved for replacement at 34 cents per square foot, and a cap rate of 8%. And let me just look at something really quick. Give me just a minute. Okay, so up on the pro forma page, on page 14, where it says reserves for replacement, we did apply 34 cents per square foot, which is correct. That's what we wanted to do. But over on the right, in parentheses, it says 23 cents per square foot. That should not be there. Just as clarification there. but the math is correct.
Okay.
So we come up with a value of $1,522,853 or $235.01 per square foot, where currently we are assessed at $181.64 per square foot at the bottom of the pro forma there. For rent support, starting on page 15, this is an advertisement for the subject property, and they're advertising $22 per square foot for that vacant space that's in there. Additionally, on page 17, Boulevard Plaza, which is in the subject's area, they're also advertising $22 a square foot. Village Shops at Altamont on pages 19 and 20, they're advertising $22. And from there, starting on page 21, we've got support for our vacancy, and these are the same publications that were in the last petition there. Management fees on page 23, and the replacement reserves on page 24. And we used the 34 cents per square foot under Strip Shopping Center right there. We have total expense report via IRM on page 115, showing a total expense rate of $2.41 a square foot, not including the real estate taxes. Cap rate support on page 26. Finally, we get to our recent retail sales on page 27. With a 15% adjustment, they averaged $260.84 per square foot. And I believe the DOR of 37 for the sale qualification that you were asking about,
Yeah.
not exposed to the open market.
Okay.
Moving on, page 28 is the same sales ratio analysis that we discussed in the last petition, running through page 32. Followed by our VAB letter, professional qualifications, and final statements and certification. And that concludes my evidence.
Okay. The petitioner submitted an evidence package of 22 pages. It is identified as petition number 20 or 2020-0015. Based upon the introduction, then it's same with copy of DR 493, copy of CBRE capitalization summary, property record card, yes, this is the wrong property record card, so you're correct. It is for the other one. Then the performer is similar with a $12 per square foot rental rate, coming to a value of $3,393,765. So this is should be associated with a prior petition. And rental data sheets. And that's it. So. The property appraiser have any further comments?
I do not.
All right, then I will review the submitted evidence and testimony for petition number 2020-0015 I will correct some of the information that is inconsistent, was switched from petition 14 to 15, unless if you have some objection to that.
No.
I will, I'll review the information and along with the appropriate petition and make these recommendations to the Valley Adjustment Board. We'll adjourn this hearing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Jim.
Hi. Okay, my name is Jim Beam. I'm serving as special magistrate for this hearing. Our hearing date is December 9th, 2020. We have 4 petitions on the order on my schedule is petition 2020-0303, petition number 2020-0291, petition number 2020-318, and petition number 2020-0272. Could I have the property appraisers state their name or identify themselves?
Lori Cicerone.
Laura Flowers.
Dexter DeBose.
Hi, guys.
Hi there.
Okay. Could I have the petitioner introduce themselves?
Yeah, Robert Rebar representing the owners.
Okay. Is there any specific order we need to go in, or is that okay the way they were announced?
Whatever they want to do.
Okay. I have an opening statement I need to read unless the petitioner wants to waive that. But,
You can waive it.
Okay. Then I would like to place everyone under oath for providing testimony. If you'd raise the right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the evidence and testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
I do. Okay. The first one is petition 2020-0303. I want to state that I see the name on the ownership, and I have done work for this person, and I have actually appraised this property as of about 2 years ago. So I guess I'd have to have some input from the petitioner and the property appraiser if they are satisfied with me hearing this petition, or if they would like to have a different special magistrate here.
No, we don't have a problem with it from the property appraisal office.
I don't have a problem with it either.
Okay. All right, then we will go ahead and hear petition number 2020-0303. Could I have the property appraiser state the parcel identification number and the values associated with this petition?
082030-5AL 36000170. The income just value is $856,674. However, there is a cap. Therefore, the total assessed value is $356,321.
Okay. Let me get up this file on this so we have I do have in evidence a file from the property appraiser and from the petitioner. The property appraiser's file I have up is 34 pages. Wait a second. This is the wrong one. Okay, I have the evidence package up from the property appraisers, petition 303. It is 35 pages long, so could I have the, wait a second. I'm sorry. When I stated before, these things get out of order here. I'd actually, the petitioner or the property owner from petition number 272 is the one actually that was my client of mine that I'd heard before or that I'd appraised before. So it wasn't petition 303. So I apologize for that. These things are not in order from the computer file to my outline here for hearing these things, so I screwed up there. But there's still not a problem, I guess, when we get to that. So,
No,
petition
no
303, I have that file up for the property appraiser. Can I have you go ahead and present your case?
Yep, I'll just start on the first page of the packet. This is showing an aerial snapshot of the subject property, highlighted in blue there. This is 156 North 4th Street, located in Lake Mary. Moving through the packet, page 2 is our table of contents. Page 3 is the trim notice. The next 5 pages is our property appraiser statement of compliance, and that goes through page 8. Starting on page 9 is the property record card for the subject property. Page 11 is the income pro forma for the subject. We've applied $22 plus $5 for CAM to the 4,942 net leasable square feet, and that shows there is $27 under tenant block detail at the top. We've applied 25% of the PGI for vacancy and collection loss, 0 for other income and tenant improvement allowance, $4 per square foot for operating expenses, 25 cents per square foot for reserves, and a cap rate of 7 3/4. And that results in our income value of $856,674 or $173.35 per square foot. We have some lease comps on pages 12 through 19. This first one here is located next door to the subject, and they're showing $25 on a modified gross basis for this property. We have Savannah Park Lane advertising a base rent of $25 per square foot starting on page 14. There's a new property down on International Parkway in Lake Mary that's advertising $35 on page 17. Griffin Farms on page 18. And 19 is advertising a base rent of $25 through $40 per square foot. The tenant listing for the property is located on page 20. We did a field check on January 10th of 2020, and it shows that 2 of those units were vacant and 2 were occupied. So we have an overall actual vacancy for the property of 31.42%. Support of our vacancy parameters, management fees, replacement reserves, expenses, and cap rate can be found from pages 21 through 26. And I just want to point out that our vacancy support on pages 21 and 22 are showing an average rate of 4.5%. for the CoStar report, and an overall for total Orlando of 4.2% on page 22 for the CBRE market view for Orlando. I have a spreadsheet of strip retail sales on page 27. And these all happened in 2019. And with a 15% adjustment, they average $464.46 per square foot. Pages 28 through 32 is basically a sales analysis that we have submitted to the DOR for their review. These are a list of income properties that have sold between 2017 and 2019. And at the bottom of each of these spreadsheets, you can see the ratio between the assessed value and the sale. And this just shows that we have considered the first and eighth. That's followed by our VAB letter, professional qualifications, final statements, and certification. And that concludes my evidence.
Okay, I have evidence package submitted by the petitioners, 14 pages long. I have it up. Could the petitioner go ahead with presenting your case?
Okay. Basically, this property has had a big vacancy problem in 2019. We finally got the actual income and the rent roll as of the first of the year. And we submitted that to the county at a later date. So I kind of wanted to go over it with you because it's not in the package right now. But the property is valued at $856,674 for 2020. But in 2019, the value was $400,716. So they jacked the value pretty high, almost over doubled it. And the property had a big vacancy problem the whole year of 19. So we were hoping that they would kind of come off that value, considering the new information that was submitted to them. There were two leases that were signed. One was signed in May of 2019, lease area of 1752 for $25. The other lease that's 1594 was signed in December of 19 for $23. So they were correct on the as of the first of the year, but as you can see that because of the leases, the actual income that the property produced was $34,409 for the year. So I just wanted to make that statement in the record, showing that the property did have a huge vacancy, yet the value went up over $400,000. So we'll go through the packet, and I got some adjustments on that. So basically, we go to page 2, which has a picture of it, and CoStar reading, and you can see it says availability was 43%. So it's showing that it has a high vacancy problem. On page 3, we want to amend our workup. Because of the new information that came through, we decided to redo the market information and the workup compared to what the county did. The county used $27. We decided to use $25, which is the higher of the two leases that were signed, which came up to $123,550. We used a vacancy factor of 30%, and the reason is that, yeah, it's 32% right now, but as of most of 2019, the property was 45 to 50% vacant or more. So we used 30%. That's 37.55 with an effective gross income of $86,455. We used the county's expense ratio of 21,004, came up with a net operating income of 65,451, and used their cap rate of 9.23, came up with a value of 709,111, which, is still higher than the 400,000, but at least gives them a break because they've been, they had a huge vacancy problem, and it's still up over 30% as of the first of the year. Page 5 is a CoStar listing. It's basically showing you what the rent range is, and you can see it's $19 to $23, and yes, they got a lease for $25 and $23. We did the information for the first and eighth criteria, which we're not arguing that they took that into consideration, so we don't have any, but that's just information for the first and eighth criteria. So again, we believe the value should be somewhat lower based on the problems with the property. I understand that they did give 25%, but they're also using $27, so we feel that a lower rental rate, because the two leases just signed, and at $25 is more reasonable, and still, even 30%, they're still increasing the value over $300,000 from the previous year. So basically, that's all I have.
Does the property appraiser have a response?
Are there any CAM charges to these new leases?
Not that I know of, no. Because basically that basically is the rental rate.
No further comment.
Petitioner have anything further?
No, I don't.
All right, then I will review the submitted evidence and testimony and make a recommendation of value adjustment board for petition 2020-0303. These next properties, petition 291 and petition 318, are they to be heard together or separately?
I like to have it together because I don't have a problem with the value on 318, but I wanted to use it in the argument.
Okay. And we will hear petition number 2020-0291 and petition number 2020-0318. Could I have the property appraiser state the parcel identification number and the values associated with petition number 291?
0820305AL 37000190. The income just value and total assessed values are the same, $4,443,077.
Okay. Let's see the next one.
So, in order to speed it up, we're agreeing with the county's workup on 291 petition, except we're trying to say that basically the parking, which was 318, should be deducted from the income approach that the county's using. So I'm not arguing their workup, though, other than that.
Okay.
And on page 3 of my packet, you can see an aerial view of where cars are being parked on the subject property on 318.
Okay, so could I have the property appraiser go ahead and state the parcel identification number and values associated with petition number 318?
08-2030 5AL 3700019A as an apple. The the market and assessor the same, $161,125.
Okay, then can I have the property appraiser go ahead with presenting the case?
Am I going first?
Is Pat, who's at the house party?
Okay.
Well,
So,
he doesn't have a problem. I work up. The extra land it's not included in the income approach.
Yeah,
So I don't understand what the issue is. It's not excess land to us on the income approach.
Well, we're looking at it as it's obviously they're using it as parking for that parcel, the income parcel, as the aerial showing on page 3.
But it belongs to the other parcel, it's that parking area.
But is it used by the main facility? Is it required by the main facility for to produce that income?
If you look at the aerial, there's a designated parking spot to the east of this parcel of land. This petition, the owner
I'll keep track of it.
either this year or 19, split this parcel out to create its own parcel. And even though this looks like it's a small parcel of land, it is a buildable lot.
If she sees it, just throw it in the garage. So, yeah.
Okay, well, let's go through it then.
I don't know. Who owns yours?
So I realized.
Central Park 142 LLC.
Yeah, they're also different owners. My owner is Shaw Construction. I mean, they might be the same individual, but it's different titled differently.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, go ahead.
The same owners, though.
Go ahead and present the case. I guess the question is whether the main facility, whether this is required parking to justify that rental rate.
They have the parking lot to the east, which is a lot larger.
Okay.
And actually,
Let's go ahead and hear the main facility then, and
Okay, I'll just go through the packet for number 291.
yeah.
Yep. This is a two-story retail mix known as Central Park Place, located at 142 West Lakeview Avenue in Lake Mary. Second page of the packet is the table of contents. Page 3 is the trim notice. The next 5 pages is the Seminole County Property Appraiser Statement of Compliance, which runs through page 8. Page 9 is the subject property record card. And there is a June of 2019 sale on the property, but it was between related parties, just to make that note. The income pro forma is located on page 12. We have a net leasable area on this of 24,320 square feet. We've applied a base rent of $15.50 plus $5 in CAM for the second floor, a $20 base rent plus $5 in CAM for the first floor. We've applied a 5% for the vacancy and collection rate, 5% of the PGI, 0 for other income, 0 for tenant improvement allowance. Operating expenses are $4.50 per square foot. Reserves are 25 cents per square foot. We've applied a cap rate of 7 3/4 before the effective tax rate is applied, and that results in our value of $4,443,077. I've got lease comps from pages 13 through 20. The first one is located across the street from the subject, and I believe these are all the same as the last petition that we heard, all of these lease comps, so I won't run through them individually a second time. The tenant listing is on page 21. We visited the property on January 10th of 2020, and it was 100% occupied at that time.
But, it's kind of cleric, it's a sorting, so,
Also, I put in the same publications as were in the last hearing, and those are on pages 22 through 27. On page 28, I have a list of recent strip retail sales. They all occurred in 2019 with a 15% adjustment. They average $464.46 per square foot.
council you put in it?
And that's followed by our sales analysis that was submitted to the DOR that was described in the last hearing. That's on pages 29 through 33. Following that is a warranty deed. And Laura could, I don't remember what, cut out for a usable lot.
That's what it was.
Okay,
That's my parcel.
okay.
Yes. This is the one you need for.
Okay, and there's some maps of that, looks like, down through page 37. And that's followed by our VAB letter, qualifications, and certification page. Okay. And that concludes my evidence on that one.
See that picture I sent you the other day?
Okay, I'm looking at your first page, the aerial. So, parcel 190, it's outlined in blue. That's this petition, correct?
Yes, that represents petition 291.
That's enough parking for that building?
I believe the same man owns all of that parking to the north and to the east of mine. All that parking to the north.
Right. But that's not part of the parcel. I mean, obviously, if you've got a parcel and you don't have adequate parking to support the income stream, it affects the value of the property.
There's
right?
parking on the Lakeview Avenue side, on the front of the building.
Okay, I can't see that from here on.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why I'm just asking if there's enough. Is there enough on-site parking that this has legal parking? To suffice this building.
If you look at my page, the vacant lot page 10, it shows an aerial, and there's Lakeview Avenue with two sides of the road is parking, and I believe on the south of where the parking is a park. So, that's not normally what's bringing people there. And if you look on 4th Street, there's parking on the streets there.
Okay, well, I mean, my question is quite simple. If you're going to go in and build this building, you have to comply with on-site parking to do this, unless if you get some other agreements to do it. So my only thing I was the whole issue here is whether this property has the adequate parking or if it needs the other parcel.
Can you go to my packet number 3? just go to my packet if you can go in there, and there's a picture, colored picture on page 3, and it shows that people are parking there. That's the reason I'm saying it.
That was a dumpster.
Sure, just one moment.
See the cars?
So you're basically saying that parcel should be included in the income approach for that?
Correct. That's all I'm saying, because I when I look, because if you look at the other parcel, there's nobody parking on the other parcel, which is on the corner. But on that parcel, the subject that we're looking at, there is. So obviously they're using that for the building. I mean, there wouldn't be any cars on it if they weren't.
So these owners are affiliated with each other?
Correct. They all own they own that whole complex.
Okay. So
that restaurant we just did is Shaw. Everybody's Shaw.
Okay.
All three. I mean, all those other petitions I pulled to are all Shaw. I mean, the whole thing they own.
This one had a different owner on it. Is Central Park or whatever?
No, I know, but I'm saying that it's the same owner because I'm working for all his stuff.
Okay. They're all affiliated with each other.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's just, but I saw that. That's why I was kind of like trying to show, hey, they're using it as parking. It's not like it's not. If it wasn't, I would say you're 100% right. Like the one parcel, I didn't say that that's part of the parking because nobody's using that. That's all I'm saying.
Well, when they build on this parcel that they created, this new parcel, when they build on it, nobody's going to be parking there.
But they're not building on it yet.
With his intention, did he have intentions on building on it? Because
I have no idea, but I don't know. But that's why I'm saying that obviously they need that parking on that parcel because people are parking on it.
Well, if you look to the south on the aerial, there's a lot of vacant parcels on that side where people could be parked.
I'm just showing you what's going on. That's all I'm saying. That's all I got.
Okay, let's go ahead. If does the property appraiser want to go ahead and review the petition 318 then, which is the vacant land?
But I'm agreeing with the value on that. I was just using it as I'm agreeing with the value, so you don't even have to go through that.
All right. So does the property appraiser have any further comments?
No further comments.
Petitioner have any further comments?
No, sir.
Okay, then I will review the submitted evidence and testimony for petitions number 2020-0291 and petition number 2020-0318 and provide a recommendation of Value Adjustment Board. Okay, 272. Okay, we are hearing petition number 2020-0272. Could I have the property appraiser state the parcel identification number and the values associated with this petition?
19-21-30-514-0B-00-0120. The just values and total assessed values are the same, $583,249.
Okay, I want to clarify that this is the parcel that I appraised a few years ago and for this client. So we're still stating that nobody has an issue regarding me hearing this this petition, correct?
Not at all.
That's correct.
Okay, then I'd like the property appraiser to go ahead and present their case. I have a 34-page evidence package that was submitted by the property appraiser.
Okay, yep. This is a retail facility known as Sabera Plaza, located at 9202 South US Highway 1792. Page 2 is our table of contents. Page 3 is the trim notice. Page 4 is the executive summary. We've applied a net leasable square footage of 13,600, and the value comes out to $42.89 per square foot overall. The statement of compliance is located on the next 5 pages, pages 5 through 9. The property record card is on pages 10 and 11. The income pro forma is on page 12. We've applied $10 per square foot rate to the strip, and we have not applied any CAM to this property. Additionally, we've applied a vacancy and collection loss rate of 25% of the EGI, 0 for other income, 0 for tenant improvement allowance, $3 per square foot for operating expenses, 25 cents per square foot for reserves, and a cap rate of 8.5%. I've got some rent comps on pages 13 through 18. This first one here, Fern Village, is located 2 parcels down the street from the subject, and they're advertising $19 per square foot for a base rent. There's 160 Candace Drive on page 17. They're advertising $12. Page 18 is 8280 South US Highway 1792. They're estimating between 15 and 19 for a rental rate. On page 19 is our vacancy report. We were out at this property back in March, it looks like, and they only had 1 tenant in there at the time, International Therapy Massage.
Do you know who the lady Jedi was?
Following that is our publications that we use. On pages 20 and 21, our averages for vacancy rates for the Orlando area, CoStar and CBRE is showing a 4.5% and a 4.2% overall vacancy rate for the Orlando area. And the following publications in support of our management fees, replacement reserves, and expenses, and cap rate through pages 25 are the same as were in the last petitions for the retail. Page 26 is a list of recent retail sales that have occurred in the subject's market area. With a 15% adjustment, they average $85.77 per square foot. The subject property is assessed at $42.89 per square foot. We have our sales analysis for income properties that was also included in the last packet. Pages 27 through 31, followed by our VAB letter, professional qualifications, final statements, and certifications. And that concludes my evidence.
Okay. I have evidence package up of 15 pages that was submitted by the petitioner. So could I have the petitioner go ahead with presenting their case?
Sure. Okay. So last year, the value on this property, it's been hovering around the same value for, probably 4 or 5 years. Because it's always been a problem property. But it's just the problem's gotten a lot bigger now. So last year, the value was $582,075. This year it got raised to $583,249, so it went up, even though the vacancy again was huge for the 19 tax year, and it's gotten worse in 20. So on page 2 is a picture of the property. Page 3 is the actual income on the property, which on page 4 you can see that the property is about 58% vacant. That's not even including the shears going out, which obviously they verified when they went out there and inspected it in March. So it's even bigger than 58% now. But the actual income on the property was $87,696. We used the total expenses of $325, which is what the county is using, for a net operating income of $43,496. Used the same cap rate of 9.9 and came up with a $438,000 value. On the property, I understand that it's at $42, but most of the sales that they have aren't anywhere from 70 to 80% vacant, I'm sure, in those sales. And again, we did the first and eighth criteria. We just feel that, based upon the, performance of this property, that, it's gotten worse over the years, but yet the county hasn't reflected that. So I know it's not a huge adjustment, but yet it's even gotten worse in 2020. So we're just asking for an adjustment based on the income the property's actually producing. And that's all I got.
All right, does the property appraiser have a response?
No, just to my knowledge, we have at least one sale on my sales spreadsheet that I've included that has had a chronic vacancy issue as well. That Boardwalk 2, which is the third one down. I don't have information exactly what the occupancy was when it sold, but I know the last couple of years it's been around 80% vacant. And I know it had some problems when it sold, but I can't give you exact numbers because I don't have them. But
which one was it, you said?
Boardwalk 2. It's the third one.
Third one down.
I say right.
Yeah, it's on 436 though. So this is 1792. So
you don't have any sales in your packet?
Not of vacant properties, I do not.
Okay, if there's nothing further, I will review all the submitted evidence and testimony and make a recommendation to the Value Adjustment Board for petition 2020-0272, and we will adjourn this hearing. Thank you.
Great. Guys, have a Merry Christmas. Thanks.
You too.
Okay, we'll see ya. Bye.
Bye-bye.